From making a surprise appearance at an awards show to skidding across Beverly Hills after a vacation, here's what happened when Pete Davidson crashed his car into a stranger's home. It all happened on March 4th, 2023. Police officers received multiple phone calls regarding a traffic accident that took place around 11 p.m. Davidson was on his way back from the Kids' Choice Awards with his new partner, Chase Sui Wonders. Yes, another girlfriend. This guy's dating everyone in Hollywood like Ash collects Pokemon. But that's got nothing to do with what happened that night. He was speeding in the hills and suddenly lost control of his car. His car hit a fire hydrant and skidded into the side of someone's home. The crash took out some of the house's exterior, damaging the wooden panels. The window in the living room was also broken to some extent. There were skid marks all over the lawn of the home. He even destroyed a small tree that got caught in the accident. Poor guy. The tree, not Pete. He should really drive responsibly. That's probably what you get for driving under the influence, right? Wait, was he under the influence of alcohol in the first place? Police reports show that no drugs or alcohol were in his system at the time. So in other words, Davidson is just a horrible driver. It's kind of surprising that the reports confirm no substances were used. I mean, have you seen how pale Pete looked in the photos from that night? Then again, that's how he looks almost every day. Dude should really get that checked. Thankfully, no one in the car was hurt. The SNL actor and Chase both left the scene of the crime uninjured. However, a teenager was in the living room when the crash occurred. The poor girl was left traumatized after the loud bang she heard from outside her home. Her father said that she thought the boom of the crash was from an earthquake. Little did she know, a well-known comedian decided to pop in for a surprise. Luckily, the girl wasn't physically hurt, and the owners of the home didn't press any charges. Instead, Pete and Chase issued a formal apology. It looks like Davidson won't be spending thousands and millions on a lawsuit. His car, on the other hand, I wish I could say the same. The crash left his car completely totaled. Mounting a curb already damages your car's tires, but smashing into the side of a home? Oh boy, that's gonna leave a mark. To top it all off, the car he was driving wasn't your average sedan. It was a Mercedes-AMG GT 4-door coupe. Just know that it costs a little over $200,000. Photos revealed the entire left bumper and driver's side window had been destroyed, along with a shattered front windshield. The airbags had deployed, guaranteeing the occupant's safety. Phew! And if you looked past the skid marks on the lawn, there were car parts and pieces scattered everywhere. I sure hope Pete has his insurance covered. Were the Kids' Choice Awards worth the damage? I'm not blaming the event per se, but if he had just stayed home that day, none of this would have happened. What was so special about that night in the first place? Now, if you were tuned in, you'd know that Davidson announced his involvement in the new Transformers movie. The 29-year-old showed up to present the Lifetime Achievement Award. This year, the character that won the award was none other than Optimus Prime. It's very fitting for the presenter, if you ask me. The new installment of the Robo franchise will introduce a wave of new Autobots that will play an important part in future sequels. Rise of the Beast stars the original voice actors of robots like Optimus Prime. Only a guy like Peter Cullen can give an empowering speech with that voice of his. Pete won't be one of the humans starring in the film. From the previous Transformers movies, the funny guy always ends up dying within the first 30 minutes of the movie. Instead, he'll be voicing Mirage, a Gen 1 Autobot. I'm not getting into the details of the origin of this character in the franchise, because this isn't that kind of video. What's interesting is that Davidson landed yet another voice acting role in a blockbuster. It looks like he's found his calling in the industry. But that shouldn't stop him from acting in other movies, right? The poor guy's Transformers paycheck will probably be spent on car repairs and paying for property damage. Fire hydrants and cars aren't cheap, you know. I hope the trip to the award show was worth it. The worst part is that Davidson ended up getting his new girlfriend involved too. Chase was kind of a surprise to a lot of people. Wasn't he dating someone else just a month ago? Turns out most of those rumors were just that, rumors. Do you really think the guy would date Ice Spice just like that? Where's the chemistry? Well, from his track record, he clearly doesn't need that to be involved with someone. Emily Ratajkowski dated the Staten Island star for roughly a month, but that didn't last. She ended up being public with yet another unexpected comedian. Hollywood sure is in shambles, isn't it? Now let's talk about Chase, shall we? The two met while filming A24's comedic horror flick Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Funny enough, the two were a couple on screen too. Just a little tinkering, and it turned into an off-screen romance, huh? This happened shortly after he broke up with Kim Kardashian. But wasn't he with Radachkowski at some point in between? They should really make a step-by-step guide to Pete Davidson's dating history. It's getting really hard to keep track of who and when. Anyway, Davidson and Sui were first seen at a New York Rangers game last December. Though they weren't alone then. The future couple were joined by another Bodies, Bodies, Bodies star, Rachel Sennett. Like every other Hollywood couple, these two never talked about their romance publicly. Leave it to the paparazzi to connect the dots after Pete and Chase were caught with PDA on multiple occasions. Recently, the couple spent some alone time in Hawaii. But guess what? The former SNL star met with his girlfriend's family. It looks like things are moving faster than we thought. They actually returned from their trip on the day of the accident. Consider it a welcome home gift from LA. Some of you may know that Pete was also this serious with Kim K. He spent some quality time with her kids, got her name branded on his chest, and even waged war with her ex-husband. That Kanye and Davidson beef sure lasted a hot minute. And can I just say, it was so entertaining. Mr. West is out of the picture for now as he spirals into an endless void of problematic opinions and unhinged behavior. His rival, on the other hand, is inching closer to tying the knot with his partner. I wonder if Ye knows anything about the crash. That pun has so many levels to it that I'm not even going to bother explaining it. Though some of West's loyal, die-hard fans saw this as the perfect opportunity to joke about the accident. Twitter is filled with memes about the night. Funny videos regarding the situation were all over the headlines. There were also a bunch of haters accusing the driver of being under the influence. Wake up, people! Reports say he was drug-free. No DUIs, no hard substances, nothing. Most replies are full of unprompted reactions. They're either worried or couldn't care less. But there was one tweet that caught my attention. This person was mad at tabloids and articles for talking about Pete's dating history instead of the actual crash. They said, and I quote, "Y'all can't take a break from dumbing down his value to only his dating history for 2 seconds." They do have a point, but I sure hope they don't stumble across this video. I kind of went off on a tangent about the guy's previous girlfriends. Sorry about that. Now, the kind-hearted people out there are sending prayers to Davidson, hoping he's okay. Clearly, they didn't read the articles to find out that he and Chase walked out uninjured. For what it's worth, that's all you needed to know about Pete's crash in Beverly Hills.